'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to hold. All those little moments, the bites you didn't catch me looking over your shoulder, just at the right time. Those little moments all led me to you. Only God knew about all those little moments. Well, maybe it was fate or a part of his plan. Giving me you was like giving me another chance. Thank God that you said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to love. All those little moments, the bites you didn't catch me looking over your shoulder, just at the right time. Those little moments all led me to you. Only God knew about all those little moments. We keep on drinking, we keep on wishing. 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 All those little moments, the bites you didn't catch me looking over your shoulder, just at the right time. Those little moments all led me to you. Only God knew about all those little moments. All those little moments.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this
A little
too.
bitty burr off of it
You've been
right there
looking
on
at
the
me all
inside.
night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know.
That's all there is on that.
Baby, you won't change.
Up there,
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.
that.
It's what you're
Now,
doing, it's making me feel
here it is.
like I'm falling.
I decide on which way I want that facing. I think I'm going to have that face up. So I'm going to flip the seam at the bottom.
And this is turquoise inside of a piece of a walnut shell.
Correct.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
I'll have to file it down just a little bit because it's a little higher on one side than it is the other.
Okay.
Right now, what I do is you do this and it forms it around the walnut shell or your stone.
Okay.
Heats the silver up, even though it doesn't look like it. It actually does heat the silver up a little bit from the friction,
Okay.
and it forms to the stone or to this walnut the shape of it.
Okay. And that's just a steel block you have it on top?
Yeah, it's just a 1/2-inch steel block,
Okay.
and it just heats it up. You see where it's kind of shaped.
Okay.
If you don't like the shape in one place, you can go back over it, because there are some little flat spots on
Okay.
the shell. So you do that, and then hopefully everything is lined up good. Once that's done, you take the bezel off, and then I get a file.
Okay.
And the file is to true up the base of the bezel
Okay.
to make that true, because it's very seldom do you get it perfect. So you just lightly rub it back and forth, and then flip it over and check it, and you'll be able to see the shiny spots. Where the shiny spots are at, you're getting down to where it's getting flush or true.
Okay.
And there'll be a little darker area that's not true yet. But you just keep on going until you get it true with the rest of the bezel. You really don't want a big gap between the bezel and your plate that you're going to weld to.
Okay.
The silver doesn't like to bond when there's a big gap. That is very, very close. Now, that's not saying that the plate didn't get warped any when I cut it, because
Okay.
that does happen. So I've got to decide where that was at again. I think it's just like that. So, yep. Just making sure that the shell still fits the bezel pretty close, and
Okay.
it does. So we'll put that there, and find my seam again, right there. I'm going to try to make this even all the way around, or equal distance on the sides,
Okay.
so I can put my wire around it next after I get this welded on. I take and put my flux on the inside. You clean your plate as I did earlier to get all the oils off of it.
Okay. Dawn dish soap and water.
Yes. Yeah, people use other things to clean it, but that Dawn stuff works pretty good. Okay, so it looks like it's still pretty close.
Okay.
Now I've got to heat that.
Oops, sorry.
I've got to heat that flux up in the plate.
Okay.
It'll crystallize on the inside there and outside. So once that's done, then I put the findings or filings in. And you can go hard, medium, easy, or extra easy. Here I go medium on it.
Okay. And these are just little pieces of silver.
Yes. a little softer than the rest of the material. That way it melts a little bit better.
Interesting. And this is what holds it all together.
Yep, and this will all be welded together when I'm done.
So interesting.
And some of these are pretty small pieces.
I can see that. I mean, not see that really, but I see you're wearing jeweler's loops.
Yep.
Just to be able to see it yourself.
Well, when you're old, you kind of lose your eyesight anyway, so.
Oh. And is this something you've always done, or is this a new venture?
Well, I've been doing this for about, I think, going on 6 years now.
Okay.
Something I picked up in Arizona, and I really enjoyed it. It keeps me busy, and I've learned a lot on doing it. I've tried it many different ways, and I've come up with some of my own ways of doing this. It just works better for me. You got to really watch it and move your fire around fairly quick because it'll melt the bezel or the rest of your silver before it even solders. Some bezels easier to get soldered than others.
Okay.
The more delicate bezel, the harder it is to weld because it melts so quick.
Okay.
And try to put most of the heat on the plate and just a little bit on the rest of it. You can almost, when you get doing it after a while, you can kind of see the silver go around the bezel and the plate. Just a little bitty line of silver. There it goes. And some silver sometimes takes a little bit more. Okay, there.
There's got to be some wicked hot heat there. Oh, and back into your little crock pot over there. You call that the pickling?
Pickle.
Or the pickle.
Just let that set in there, and this is heated. You heat it up, and it cleans the silver off of the impurities that burns off of it when you heat it.
Okay.
So you let it set for just a little bit, and it'll still have some discoloration to it.
Sure.
But then you can just take a cloth and it'll wipe off to where it's much shinier. And then once I get all the components put together on it, I put it in the shaker, and
Okay.
that really polishes it up to where it's a bright silver then.
Okay.
And then after that's all done, I take and I mount either a stone, or in this case, this is the first one I'm going to do on this shell and inlay of turquoise.
That is really quite beautiful, Dad. Huh.
I've got any gaps, and it looks like everything's all good all the way around. So you hold it up to the light and see if you can see any gap or light showing through at the base, and everything looks good. So now, let's see which one are we going to do. I've got different wires. This and try this one. It's been a while since I've used any of this. We keep the silver in bags, plastic bags, so it doesn't tarnish.
Okay. I suppose the more air it hits, the more it oxidizes.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why if you have it out, you should use a jeweler's cloth to wipe it down before you put it away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just the oils from your skin will start the tarnishing.
Okay.
Now this part, it can be very difficult
Okay.
because the wire doesn't like to stay formed. So what I do is I try to keep it away from the seam that I first started,
Okay.
which is right over here on this side. So I'll try and put my next seam over here out of the way.
Okay.
And sometimes it works really well, but you just start bending it like this to form it around. And I just want to get it fairly close. I need this. It doesn't always like to work.
Suppose it's got not a whole lot of give to it sometimes.
No, it doesn't. Try to get it there. Kind of guess at about the right place to cut it. I'm going to cut it right in that area. And then I'll have to trim it up a little bit when I get closer.
Okay.
Make it match. This is a jeweler's saw.
Okay, is it just wax you were just using there?
Use beeswax so it doesn't hang up real easy. It makes it cut easier. Because the silver's soft and it'll get hung up in the teeth.
Oh.
You're going to try to match that up a little bit. It bends so easy. So you've got to reform it all again. This particular wire likes to separate.
It's all like braided and braided, and that is so pretty.
Well, if I can get it pretty close to the form that I've got my bezel at,
Okay.
then I can weld it together and reshape it as I put it on. I might be a little bit too long. With my wire. And everything's an odd shape, so
Right.
it takes just a little bit of more work. Very, very close. So
Okay.
I'm going to weld that together.
Okay.
And I got to get it kind of matched up. Good deal. I just put a little mark on my board so I know exactly where the seam is at.
Okay.
And we'll heat it up just a little bit. And this also helps get any of the oils off of it. And again, we put flux on it.
You can hear that sizzle.
Yes. All right, there's the flux. Now we've got to heat the flux up. Yeah. Doesn't take very much to do the flux.
Okay.
Just to roll off of there.
And then back in.
Back in. See how it's discolored?
Yeah, I was noticing that. Like almost black on the one side.
Yes. Let that set in there again for just a few minutes. And
Okay.
it'll be nice and silver colored. Might have a little bit of tarnish look into it, but once we get that all put together and put in the shaker, put it in the shaker for about an hour, and it'll be nice and shiny.
Okay.
Now we've got to decide on what we're going to use for a bell on this, which the bell is to hang your pendant off of a chain with.
Oh.
I've got some made up. I'm not sure that this is what I'm going to use.
Seems like you're busy.
These are different size bales and different kind. These are, they'll end up mounting, let's see, it'll be over here once I trim this plate up, like that, but I think I'm going to make a different bale. Don't really like the looks of that on there.
No?
No, it just doesn't quite look right.
Do you have any others to look at?
I'm going to have to make one.
Okay.
That's all there is on that. Clean that edge off. It's not sharp. That's good. Now, we got this. Big bale and a little bale. That's part of it, and then I'll take and cut this off, and I'll weld this up to where it fits on there right. And grind on it just a little bit. That. And I'll weld, I think I'll grind this. I'm just taking that little edge off of it, so when I do get it all welded, and it'll be ready to go. So
Okay.
now we'll do this on the inside. More flux on there, and then heat that up again, just like that. Now, get this out of the way. Now I've got to take some more silver. Put that on the inside. Yeah. There's that. And that. this out. And we start forming this around here. Oh, that's gonna work out good. I want that wire down as close to that plate as we can get it. And we've got to solder that on or weld it on as well.
Okay.
And this usually takes a couple of times.
Okay.
All right. More flux. All right, now we go with the easy
Okay.
solder. As you move out on your stuff, you try to go one solder less on hardness.
Okay.
Sometimes you can just barely touch these and everything jumps.
Isn't that crazy? It's like it has electricity of its own.
Yes.
I'm the ghost-stone at the bottom of a pool, tossed by the jealous waves of the sea.
And I'm putting extra on. It's because of the wire type.
Okay. I suppose it has a lot of nooks and crannies that we gotta fill.
It does. I'd rather use just a little bit extra and not have enough on it.
Right.
Now, again, we just start in the center.
Okay.
Get this. Heat that center up because you want your solder to go toward the flame or toward the hot plate.
Okay.
And so heat that up good, and it'll sometimes go before anything else. The solder, see there, it's really, it's already going, drawing it in.
You can see that actually starting to.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, I just want to. Like that. Cool. I can put it in the pickle, and then we'll check to see how our wells did on it.
Okay.
Now, I've got to get
The other one
this
out.
out. Rinse it off.
Let's see how it did.
Okay.
And we called this the bell, and this is what's going to hold it to whatever
Yeah,
chain
this-
you put it on.
This will be what the chain goes through.
Okay.
I bend that just a little bit. Looks like it's welded good. And now, what I do, take my vise, I just kind of give myself a mark as to how deep I want to cut. Because now I'm going to cut or saw this.
Really?
Twist on me. You can't put much pressure on the saw blade because it'll just snap, which
Okay.
this one's starting to get wore out. And it wouldn't surprise me if it snaps. Just a little bit more on that back side. good. Oh, there it is.
So you cut down the middle to open it up.
Yes.
Interesting. Huh.
All right. Let's see how this is done. Get this out of the way. Then we'll check and see if our wire is welded all the way around.
Okay.
Put some more right there. Looks like that's the only place I'm going to put it in. It gets pretty warm. Just to take some of the sharp edges off here. that's about where that's going to go. Like that. And then we want that bell. Lined up.
Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We didn't mind sitting out in the cold. It was impossible to make us embarrassed. We were free.
You put a string behind that so you can pop that your stone back out.
Okay.
So there's my mark. Right there.
Okay.
You see it?
There you go.
Okay. So we'll do that. But first off, let's stamp it.
When we got older, we tried to stay
A lot of people will take and stamp their plate first before they do anything else. They'll stamp their plate.
Okay.
I like to stamp my plate one of the last things. That way I can kind of line it up with the bell.
Okay.
And so that'll be there.
I wish I could turn back. Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We
That's
didn't
sterling.
mind sitting out in the cold. It was impossible to make us embarrassed. We were free. Do you remember stealing smoke from your parents?
And there's my name.
Sometimes we got a
Very
bit
excellent.
out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to see them, we were free. When we were 17. When we were 17.
Okay, now
When we
too
were
wide,
younger,
too thick.
we used to sit on the grass and go, damn, I don't wanna grow old. Stay up all night singing songs on the terrace. We didn't mind sitting out in the cold. It was impossible to make us embarrassed. We were free. Do you remember stealing smokes from your parents?
All right.
Sometimes we got a bit out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to scare them, we were free. When we were 17.
None on the back?
Nope, that's
17.
it. Now that'll probably jump around some.
Okay.
When see,
Oh, I see it now. Okay. It did. It went right through. Okay.
let's see if I got it still lined up. Looks pretty good. Off just a little. That looks good right there. Well, now we go with the extra easy
The extra easy.
because we don't want to melt the other solder
Right.
or silver that we put on there. All right. See if we can get this on here now.
Okay.
So we kind of heat up the plate and the bell at the same time.
Okay.
the plate's going to take just a little bit longer.
Well, there it went. Okay.
Drop that in there.
That, wow. Weld still looks good.
Looks good. All right, so we'll put it in the shaker now.
Okay. And that goes for,
I'll run it for about an hour and look at it, and if it's to where I like it, then I'll take it out and I'll set the shell and stuff in it.
okay. That seems like a very complicated shaker.
Oh, it's not. It's getting wore out. So I had to redesign it a little bit.
I see.
But it's
Still useful.
4 years old.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
See it in an hour.
Yeah.
Oops.
Not long ago,
Reach it here and rinse it off a little bit.
I can see it in your eyes. It's like your fire is gone across your face. It is written across your face.
Huh.
If you want
Looks like a mirror.
come right here, not
Yes.
gonna leave your side. Just feel free to open up when the moment's right. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna go out, we can go out. You can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just
Use
let it out.
this floss, what it is, dental floss, to put underneath the stone or this to make sure that it fits okay. And it fits all right. So we just do this to pull it back out.
Okay.
Now that it fits good, we do that. Get it lined up. Seems to be good. Everything's got the right height. And now, you take what is called the bezel pusher. And I start working that bezel just a little bit over the edge of the stone, or in this case the shell that we're using, and just keep pushing that bezel to where it kind of pinches is what it actually is doing. It pinches over the shell.
So there's no glue.
No glue.
Well, no friction holding it in place. So
Yes.
not the pinch.
And you can use glue on some stuff. I don't use it. The bezel should hold everything in. People use a cement on some stones in rings, which if they ever bust a stone, then it's kind of harder to get out. This is again another bezel pusher. You just kind of rub it to where it kind of heats that bezel up a little bit and it bends over easier.
Or like before when you were using the metal itself to heat up the silver.
Yes,
Okay.
and if this is brass on this.
Okay. Now, with this walnut shell
Yes.
that you're using, how did you get the stones to stay set in that?
Well, this is actually little grains of turquoise.
Okay.
And then there's a cement that you can mix up and put with it, put it in there, and then grind it down or sand it down.
How beautiful. Okay. That's very unique. Is there a lot of pressure you have to put on that?
Quite a bit. It's, some goes on really easy, and some you just have to keep working it to get it to form right.
Okay.
And this one is about done. You don't want any of the points sticking up to where it grabs on clothing or anything. You'll have a little bit, but not that it's going to grab on any clothing. It's kind of like a hacksaw blade. This bezel here is.
Okay.
Just look to see if there's any places that I missed. And there you have the finished product.
Let me zoom in on that. Oh goodness. It almost looks like a paw print.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing your technique with us.
What's that?
Thank you for sharing your technique with us.
You're very welcome.